Hello employees and welcome to a basic boater safety training. Though enjoying life on the water can be fun and relaxing, everybody needs to take safety precautions and be prepared for emergencies while operating a boat. By the end of this training course, trainees will be able to identify major risk possibilities while operating a boat, be prepared in specific emergencies while on the water, and properly familiarize themselves with a boat and its features. Some of the most common risks a boater deals with are dangerous weather conditions, carbon monoxide poisoning, having a passenger fall overboard, and engine failure. To avoid dangerous weather conditions while boating, always check the local weather before departure. Local television stations, radio programs, and weather forecast websites can be a good source of information. Wind is a major risk of boaters because you can be pushed out to sea and become lost or stranded, or you can be pushed onto land and damage a boat. Heavy fog and rain are also big risks for boaters by decreasing their visibility on the water, making an accident more susceptible. So, if you notice darkening clouds, strong winds, or sudden drops in temperature, make the choice to get off the water. Carbon monoxide can potentially harm and even kill you inside or outside your boat. Carbon monoxide is a gas produced anytime a carbon-based fuel such as gasoline, propane, charcoal, or oil burns. Sources on your boat include gasoline engines, generators, cooking ranges, and space and water heaters. Cold or poorly tuned engines produce more carbon monoxide than warm, properly tuned engines. Carbon monoxide is colorless, odorless, and tasteless and mixed evenly within the air. It enters your bloodstream through the lungs and displaces the oxygen your body needs. Early symptoms of carbon monoxide poisoning are irritated eyes, headache, nausea, weakness, and dizziness. The symptoms are often confused with seasickness or intoxication. Prolonged exposure to low concentrations or very short exposure to high concentrations can lead to death. Each year, boaters are injured or killed by carbon monoxide. Exhaust leaks are the leading cause of death by carbon monoxide and can allow carbon monoxide to migrate through the boat and into enclosed areas. New areas of concentration are the rear deck and near the swimming platform, with the generator or engines running, antique surfing, or dragging behind a slow-moving boat. This diagram shows where carbon monoxide can be produced and released on a boat. There are numbers of things you can do to avoid carbon monoxide poisoning while boating. Make sure that the boat you are using is receiving regular maintenance and proper boat operation. Install and maintain a carbon monoxide detector on the vessel. Avoid closed off or poorly ventilated areas while the boat is running. Never ride on a swimming platform where gases accumulate while the engine is running. If carbon monoxide is suspected, open all windows, hatches, and ports to the ventilated area. If a passenger is exposed to carbon monoxide, move them into an area with fresh air and seek medical attention. If a passenger falls overboard, it is important that you act quickly when rescuing them. If left in the water too long, they can lose energy and drown or possibly get hypothermia. To avoid risk of a passenger being injured or dying when going overboard, it is important that everyone on the boat is wearing a life jacket. The majority of drowning victims are the result of boaters not wearing their life jackets, and the U.S. Coast Guard estimates that life jackets have saved over 80% of boating fatality victims. Also, make sure everyone on board knows how to swim, and make sure that you and your passengers know proper rescue techniques. When a passenger falls overboard, the first thing you want to do is reduce speed and toss the victim a personal flotation device, preferably a throwable kind, unless you already know that he or she is wearing a life jacket. Turn the boat around and slowly pull alongside the victim and approach the victim from downwind. Then stop the engine. Pull the victim on board over the stern, keeping the weight of the boat balanced, especially in small boats. If a passenger drowned in the water, the first thing you need to do is move them out of the water and lay them flat on their backs on the ground. Then you have to check if they are breathing by placing your ear next to the person's mouth and nose and looking to see if the chest is moving. If they are not breathing, then check their pulse for 10 seconds. If there's no pulse, then start CPR until outside help arrives. You can get proper CPR training from the American Red Cross or local hospitals. If your boat engine fails in the middle of the water, it is important to know what to do if this happens and how to decrease the chances of it happening. First, you want to be able to troubleshoot and figure out what the problem is and if you can fix it. If it isn't fixable, it is smart to have an oar on board to get the boat back to land. If you are stranded, use signal equipment on the boat to be able to call for help. There are many things that can be done to avoid engine failure. Have your boat's engine and all other systems serviced regularly. Get a free vessel safety check at the beginning of every boater safety. Take proper care of your boat between trips, especially when winterizing. Check fuel, oil, and water levels. Inspect and clean out and replace any damaged wiring. There are other things that boaters can do to be able to minimize risks as a passenger. Create a pre-departure checklist. This can help you stay organized and help make boat operations easier. Examples that can be on a pre-departure list is make sure you have proper amount of life jackets, familiarize yourself with the boat, make sure passengers can swim, don't bring any alcohol on board, have a horn, check the weather, make sure lights are working, top off fuels and check off all liquids, carry basic tools on board, have a first aid kit and flotation voice on board, and designate an assistant skipper to help with boat operations. A float plan is used to be able to inform family members, friends, or staff at the local marina about your plans in the water. In a float plan, it is important to include the following items: the name, address, and phone of the trip leader, as well as the passengers, where you are going and how long you are going to be gone, boat type and registration information, trip itinerary, and types of communication and signal equipment that you have on board. Thank you for participating in the training segment. You now know how to identify major risk possibilities while operating a boat, be prepared in specified emergencies while on the water, and know how to properly familiarize yourselves with a boat and its features.